All right, let's just look at a couple of things here. One of the questions we had on one of our practice problems was if you had 80 feet of fence, that would mean that you're able to make a perimeter, and these fencings come in 10 and 5 foot lengths. So if you're looking at lengths of 5 feet, all right, then each time you put a pin down, you get that one pin would equal 5 feet. One example of this might be that you might put one length of fence here, so you would have to put 7 here, so that all that so that when you went all the way around the pin, you would have 5 feet of length here, 35 feet of length here, 5 feet of length here, and 35 feet of length there. And if you'll notice, that all adds up to 35 and 35 is 70, plus 10 more is 80. So that might be an example of how you would do the lengths of the fence. The best way to show the most area would be like if you had 4 lengths here, which would be 20, then it would be 20 all the way around, because each side is going to have to be 20, 40, 60, 80. If you were to look at this as putting together an equation comparing area, you might want to make up a chart to show the area compared to, for example, the width. So if you had your width here and your area here, you might make a table that shows this comparison. One of the ways to do this is if you know that this over here has to start with maybe 10, and this would be 10 and this would be 70, but what if you didn't really know what they were and you're just trying to predict? You would have to say, if this is W, we know that these two lengths have to add up to 40, because remember we said a 20 and a 20 is 40. And then that would give you the 20 and 20 over here for another 40 to make 80 altogether. Well, the same thing applies for all measurements. So we need to do something where we have whatever this is, whatever this side is, this side will have to add up so that you have 40. So if you have 10 feet of length here, then you'd have to have 30 feet of length here to make 40 altogether. Okay? So if we only had 5 feet over here, then you would have to have 35 feet here to make 40 altogether. If you were to do W here, then we would have to take whatever the 40 is and subtract that W. Okay, since it's 40 all the way, we would subtract the W. Our formula then, if we're calculating area, would be W times 40 minus W. And the reason we're only doing length and width is because that's all it takes to make area. So area is your length and your width. So for example, if you have one length of fence, which is 5 feet, your area would actually be 5 times 40 minus 5, which is 5 times 35. Okay, which if you multiply that together, you're going to get 175. If you had, and 5 is the smallest you can start with because they only come in 5 foot lengths. 5 foot lengths is their smallest. So you have to figure out what is the smallest length I can have. Well, what if I had 2 lengths of fence? The next smallest you could have would be 10, and then you could have 15, and then you could have 20. All right, and then you could go. So you can continue to go up, but you got to be careful because you can't go too high because then it won't work out for the other direction. Your length and your width both have to work out together. So we have to see if we have 5 here, 5 widths, then that means we'd have 7 lengths, which is 35, just like we showed down here. All right. The same thing, so if we're working our way down, 10 feet here means you have 30 feet here, and that would be 300. If you have 15 feet here, then that means you had 3 lengths here. And remember, these lengths, all of the lengths have to add up. So if you have 3 here, you can only have 5 here because that's 8 lengths. And those numbers together will make your 40 feet. So the lengths of fence are really important. So if you have 15, that's like you have 3 lengths. 15 is 3 lengths of fence. All right, then that means you have 5 over here, which is 25. And you can kind of see the pattern. And so if we have 20, which is 4 lengths, you're going to have 4 lengths left for the length, and altogether that would be 400. Okay. Now, if you start going up higher to 5 lengths, now you're just then the lengths are going to have to go down. So the next one would be 15, 20, 25 here is going to be 15 here, and the area is going to be the same as what we got up here, 375. And if we go to 30 here, then you're going to have only available left 30 here would be just 10 there, which is 300. And then if you went one more, you could go to 35, which allows you to only have 5 feet left here. And that's as far as you can go, because if you try to go any further, then you won't have any length of fence left for the length, which is 175. Now, if you look at this pattern, you can see that that's a quadratic, because we went up, and then back down. So, and you could actually calculate the difference between those. That formula is going to be the same formula as you got right here. So there's your formula for the lengths of fence that you would get on that.